Hello, all. Dr. DeJoy here, and I want to just talk today and just flip the script for just a moment. Just y'all, just be patient with me. But I want to talk about matching energy, the quiet key, I believe, to healthy relationships. And I think it's so important in this time as I watch people and hear people in their interactions, and sometimes they're a little frustrated and concerned, especially when I hear people arguing all the time and not realizing perhaps your energies aren't matching. And let me define what that means, because I think we need to understand and be on the same wavelength when we hear that term and understanding what matching energies mean. Because matching energy in a relationship means aligning your emotional and behavioral output with your partner's, reciprocating their level of effort, communication, and intensity to create balance and mutual engagement. It can also mean finding someone on the same wavelength, right, in terms of core values and life goals, indicating a deep compatibility and shared enthusiasm. It's really all about meeting somebody generally in their emotional state, whether that's a calm evening or an exciting adventure, and ensuring efforts aren't just one sided, right? And so in this practice, I'm not talking about you being with somebody and you say, well, I'm going to match their energy with you. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about compromising your emotional, mental, spiritual state. What I'm talking about is meeting somebody that has the same energy level, has the same spiritual level of energy that you do. Let me talk about how it works so there is some understanding and we have the same wavelength here, because I believe that there's a practice that needs to be understood, and really this reciprocating effort, right? It's not one that says, you know what, when they get angry, I'm going to get angry. I'm not talking about that. Because if you're a person like me, I'm not going to get angry because you're angry. I'm not angry for no reason. And I'm glad to put myself out to be angry about something I don't know nothing about. So I don't believe in that. That's my personal take. But if they text you once a day, or if you text once a day, if they're quick to plan dates and you're quick to plan dates, then you are mirroring an intensity of a relationship that matches your pace. You both have a matching pace, excitement level about it. There's a deep emotional connection and a sharing, even the lightning, even lighthearted bantering that you do with one another, laughing about it, and really sincere in your emotional state of sharing this energy level that's just fun. It's just fun. But a shared emotional state meaning, then there is an emotional connection there, showing empathy and understanding rather than forcing your own agenda on somebody, right? There's a positiveness to this relationship. There's a harmony there, and it prevents one person from feeling like they're doing all the work. You feel the shared connection, you feel the shared energy, you feel the shared engagement in these types of connections. And it builds deeper connections through authentic, mutual, emotional exchange with one another. And it indicates that there's some compatibility and passion, humor, and values. Now, as I write my books, a lot of my books are enemies to lovers type of books, right? Second chances type of books. And a lot of times you'll find the enemies to lovers, enemies are friction, 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 because they don't know one another. They're not connected to one another. And it just doesn't work, right? But because a lot of times my books are about careers, people in their careers, and they're maybe working with their boss, or they're working with somebody, of course, a billionaire, and vice versa, because the billionaires aren't always male. Sometimes the billionaires are female, that there's a friction there that needs to be crossed over, right? There's a crossover point. And so I want you to watch this. I thought this was really good. I'm switching over from my books into watching this example that I found online. And it's cute. I was watching a teacher do something so simple and yet so profound. And I just wanted to share the clip with you and see if you get the same take as I did in regards to watching this teacher with her students. The take is so beautiful. Watching this, get this going.
Good morning, Carla. Good morning, Ember. How would you like to be greeted this morning? Again. Go, Ember. Go, Ember. Hey, hey, good morning. Good morning, Jana. How would you like to be greeted? Go, Jana. Go, Jana. Hey, hey. Good morning, Derek. How would you like to be greeted? Good morning. Good morning, DeMarcus. Go, DeMarcus. Ooh, go, DeMarcus. Good morning, Landon. How would you like to be greeted? Namaste. Good morning, Aaliyah. How would you like to be greeted? Good morning, sweet girl. Good morning, Gianni. Gianni wants to dance. Go, Gianni. Go, Gianni. Hey, good morning, Principal Julia. How would you like to be greeted? A hug, of course. Good morning, sweet girl. Good morning, Hazia. How would you like to be greeted? A high five. Give me five. A five. Reach, reach. There you go. Good morning, Mikaya. How would you like to be greeted? A hug. Good morning. Good morning, Nia. How would you like to be greeted? Hugs for everyone. Good morning, Jose. How would you like to be greeted? We know that. Go, Jose. Go, Jose. Hey, hey, go, Jose. Hey, hey. Good morning, Amorion. You ready? Go, Amorion. Go, Amorion. Hey, hey. Go, Amorion. Hey, hey. Good morning, Emmy. How would you like to be greeted? Go, Emmy. Go, Emmy. Hey, hey. Go, Emmy. Hey, hey.
I thought this was just amazing to watch because this teacher did something so simple that was so profound, right? As you watch her meet the kids every morning, instead of greeting her kids the same way, she asked the question, how would you like to be greeted today? Call them by their name. And some of them lit up and they got excited. Some of them say, dance with me. Some of them said, give me a hug. You know, some wanted a high five. And one child chose namaste. She's like, just, you know, he said, just don't touch me at all. Just, just a bow would be good. Because the teacher honored every single one. No judgment. It was no, excuse me, it was no, this is how we do it here. There was no forcing sameness, just presence. And in that small classroom moment, something powerful was happening. She was teaching them that their energy actually matters. And that connection begins with an atonement, not an assumption, right? Not pause with me for a moment. What if we were carrying that same curiosity into our relationships? What if instead of demanding, love me the way I love, instead you ask, how do you receive love? Because expecting everyone to meet us the same way, with the same tone, the same affection, the same emotional pace isn't connection, it's control. And matching energy doesn't mean shrinking yourself. It means not forcing your rhythm onto someone else. Some people need quiet presence. Some need words. Some need space between or before closure. Some need a touch. And some just need time. And when we ignore that, we insist our way is the right way. And relationships don't become stronger, they become strained. So here's the real question I want to leave with you on today. What energy are you bringing into your relationships? And is it being offered or imposed? Because healthy relationships aren't built on sameness. They're built on curiosity, the kind that asks, how do you want to be met? How do you feel safe? How do I honor you today and not who I need you to be? That teacher didn't just greet those students. She taught them something we all need to relearn. Connection begins when we choose to meet people where they are and not where our expectations say they should be. So today in our relationship, ask the question, listen to the answer, and notice how matching energy rather than demanding it can be the difference between surviving a relationship and truly nurturing one. I remember recently I heard Tyler Perry say, and I don't always listen to Tyler Perry, but I did listen to him on this one, is that you have to allow people to show up the way they want to be shown up. And when they show up the way that you like, then you be receptive of that. But if they show up the way that you don't really care for, well, that's your choice to make, to either back away from that thing or put up with it and be in bondage, right? The choice is to live free and to live in those relationships that truly can be a nurturing one to your spirit, your soul, and your heart. Have a great day.